Good morning. Please rise in body and spirit as we sing our opening song. It's number 94 in your gray hymnal. Number 94 in your gray hymnal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem, Oregon, where we love really long names. My name is Janet Stevens, and I'm a member of the Homilist and Storytellers team here at UUCS. The principles and origins of our faith can be found in the first few pages of the Gray Hymnal if you're interested. But simply put, we are a spiritual community who, in spite of all that is happening around us, stand firmly on the side of love, acceptance, and inclusion. So, come in, join us. Bring your questions and doubts, your fears and frustrations. Bring your life experience, your talents and knowledge. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whether you're watching us on social media or you're right here in the sanctuary, whatever spiritual path you follow, whenever you are on your life journey, no matter why you decided to join us today, you are welcome, you are wanted, you are enough. Thank you for the gift of your presence.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Gloria Hollins, serving as your celebrant this morning. For a period of time, we're operating without the benefit of the wonderful slides that are usually projected behind me. We do have them up there if you care to turn around and look at them, but you don't have to do that. Technology takes updating, and updating takes time. So we're just going to wait and put up with this until it gets all fixed, and then we'll have our slides back again. So as we join together in saying our affirmation, at the door, some of you, hopefully maybe all of you, were given a little piece of paper that has the words to the recitations today. It looks like a half a piece of that, if you can see that. So if you are not familiar with our affirmation, maybe that will help you. So please join together today in saying our affirmation. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration. Build a community of caring fellowship. Nurture the hopes and serve the needs of our world.
Though the gift be small and simple, if the wish is wide, just a simple gift of giving makes you warm inside. Though the thought is ever fleeting, if a thought at all, remember all the mighty big things started out as small. So if you're a gift worth giving, let it be your small. Let it be a kindly word that makes the stranger stop a while. Let it be a simple giving, if the wish is wide. Just a simple gift of giving makes you warm inside. So if you're a gift worth giving, let it be your small. Let it be a kindly word that makes a stranger stop a while. Let it be a simple giving, if the wish is wide. Just a simple gift of giving makes you warm inside.
We probably should have introduced Ramona Morris as our guest musician today, and what a lovely voice. Thank you so much for sharing your talent. The Spark of Love comes to you from Anastasia Birosh. The spark of love resides in us all. We are free to act from it or not. If we choose love, how will love shape what we do? If we choose love, how will it improve our actions? If we choose love, how will I treat those around me? If I choose love, will I find it when life gets hard? If I choose love, will you also choose love? Love begets love, and it is love that lights our chalice. Each week, we here at UUCS light 3 chalices. The first chalice lights the way for this UUCS community to find love within and without as we journey through this life. We light our second chalice for our dear friends in our partner church in Šimen Falva, Transylvania, Romania. And we light our third chalice for the children and youth in our religious education program and for all the children of the world. Please join us as we sing the flame into life.
Rise up upon your flame, by the light glowing, show to us beauty, vision and joy.
Good morning. It's good to see all you guys. Can all the kids come up and anybody young at heart? Come on, guys. I'm not too scary. Today we are exploring our theme by talking about how parts of ourselves sometimes get left out, including love and acceptance for ourselves. So with that in mind, I want to tell you a classic tale, the story of the ugly duckling. Once upon a time, in a quiet sunlit farmyard, a little duckling hatched from an egg that looked different from the others. While the other ducklings had soft yellow feathers and playful chirps, this one was larger and gray, awkward with feathers, and seemed out of place. The other animals in the farmyard teased that little duck relentlessly. The other ducks would swim gracefully in the pond, but the little one struggled to paddle, flapping its wings clumsily. All the farm animals would make fun of the duckling. You're not like us. You're not good enough. You're ugly. Feeling unwanted and out of place, the little duckling wandered away from the farmyard, leaving behind cruel words and harsh looks. The duckling traveled far, hoping to find a place where it belonged, but the world seemed indifferent and cold. Winter came, and the poor duckling found shelter in a quiet, frozen pond. But they were cold, lonely, and hungry. All winter long, as the harsh winds blew and the snow covered the earth, the duckling carried on, determined to survive. It did not know it yet, but its struggles were shaping something beautiful. When spring finally arrived, the ice melted and the pond began to sparkle again in the warmth of the sun. One day, while gazing at its reflections in the water, the duckling saw something different. The image in the pond was no longer the clumsy gray bird it had once seen. Instead, the duckling saw a magnificent, pure, white swan with elegant wings. It was then the duckling realized that it had never been ugly. It had simply been growing, changing, and transforming into something more beautiful than it had ever imagined. It had needed time to bloom into its true self, a being of grace and beauty. As the swan spread its wings and soared above the pond, it understood the most important truth of all. Self-worth does not depend on others' perceptions, but on recognizing and honoring our own unique journey. From that moment on, the swan never doubted its beauty or its place in this world. It knew that even when it felt lost or out of place, it was always exactly where it needed to be. And it learned to love itself, not because the world saw it as perfect, but because it had the courage to embrace itself fully, flaws and growth and all. This story reminds us how important it is to love ourselves, even when others may not. Just like the ugly duckling, we may sometimes feel out of place, misunderstood, or unworthy. But we must remember that our value is not determined by others' judgments or expectations of the world around us. True beauty comes from within and unfolds with time and patience. So if we could do the love arch, and everybody but the youth group is staying in here. So go through the love arch and head back to your parents, except for youth group. Thank you.
Wherever you walk in love. Wherever you walk in peace. Wherever you walk the beauty of a million hearts are with you. Wherever you walk in love.
As most of you know, we are right in the middle of the pledge drive. And after the success of last year's drive, we are really excited about this year's drive, knowing how dedicated we are to keeping UUCS the vibrant and thriving community we are now enjoying. I'd like to introduce you to Craig Rowland, who is are you in charge of the pledge drive? Is that what? Yes. Who's in charge of the pledge drive? You can recognize him by his pink and purple hair. Maybe he'll talk about that. And he's going to give us an update, and then we will be hearing from George Struble.
There we go. Good morning. As you notice, our logo and my hair match. That was the goal this year. So we're trying to get my hair all the way to purple.
Okay.
So far, 35% of our pledging members have pledged so far. That brings us to 37% of our total. It's great progress, but we have a long way to go. I wanted to take a moment to recognize one of our longtime supporters, George and Elsa Struble, who have pledged $10,000 to this year's pledge drive, which is a generous amount.
Wow.
Thank you. We know every pledge matters, no matter the amount. This year, our goal is to have 100% participation, so no matter what you can pledge, whether it's your time, any amount, just please fill out a pledge form. Myself and other volunteers are going to be in the fellowship hall to help you with the pledge form or answer any questions that you have. And you can pledge online at uua.org. Under the donate menu, there is a Make a Pledge link that will link you right to our pledge drive. Yeah, thank you for all of the support, and let's keep the momentum going and get my hair purple. Yes.
Thank you. And let me introduce myself because I'm not as active at our congregation as I used to be. I've been a member since 1986 and a Unitarian since 1957. I was the congregation member most active in financing and building this church in 1997 and the Fellowship Hall addition in 2003. I directed our stewardship campaign at least half a dozen years, directed 2 church auctions, edited our church newsletter, was chief painter for 14 years, and other things. In those efforts, I have felt supported, fulfilled, and rewarded. Thank you for those opportunities. And now I'm going to depart from my script a little bit, because support goes both ways. And I have to tell you a story that every generation of the church needs to hear. When we were planning to build this church, 1994, we had a capital campaign, and people were generous, 3-year pledges that totaled $300 and some thousand. The building committee went to work with the architect, and when he finally was able to price out what the building we had designed, it was more than we thought we could afford. And so things are on hold for a little while. And Rick Davis was talking one day to Laura Wells, who was then almost 100 years old, and said, "We don't quite know what to do, but I have $10,000 that I've been saving toward a new car. But this is important, and if other people went in with me, that $10,000 could go toward this church. When he went to see her a week later, she gave him a check for $50,000.
Oh my God.
His next step was to see me. And over our dining room table, lots of good things happened around our dining room table. We developed another plan, and soon we announced to the congregation that we had this sacrificial gift of Rick's $10,000, major gift of $50,000, and a challenge pledge that if we'll have a very special capital campaign now, asking members for one-time $5,000 or more from their nest eggs, not from their income. This is once, we do this once. And our congregation responded. Out of our small congregation, over 40 people gave $5,000. That's not pledges, that's checks right then. And raised another, and the challenge pledge said for every $5,000, the challenge donors would give another $1,000. So with all of that, we raised another $300,000. We could build the church. So that's how support works both ways. And you need to hear that. Oh, now back to my script. The next 4 years will be tough for our nation and for our world. We need to be, and we will be, a refuge for people who are buffeted and bruised by national events. We must be a beacon for reason and compassion. We must be a beacon of witness against the waves of cruel injustice, misinformation that destroys the foundation of reason in our society, and the dominant selfishness and disregard for others' lives. In the long view of the development of our civilization, I've read that Judaism added justice to the religious practices of its era, and Christianity added compassion. Those shining stars have dimmed over the centuries. Unitarian Universalism tries to reestablish them. My friends, we have never been more needed than we will be during these next few years. We are not starting from scratch. Our predecessors have established a significant body of thought and practice that we can draw on and must move forward. Financially also, we benefit from earlier generations that built this building and paid off its mortgage. But our generation has, if you will, a moral mortgage, an obligation to sustain this congregation and move our movement forward. This is the crucial context of this year's pledge campaign. We have the opportunity to inspire ourselves as we provide the refuge and beacon for others who will join us. As we prepared to raise the money to build this church, our consultant, Reverend John Gibson, charged us not to give until it hurts, but to give until it feels good. I ask you to give toward this generation's quest an amount that will make you proud to be part of the vital force we must be. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Annie Jocelyn, and I am honored to be one of your Lifeline lay ministers. Today, we have 2 joys to share. First, I want to thank Eric for bringing Kimber in today for pet therapy. You can visit them back in Hanneman Hall after the service. Second, after much anticipation, we finally had a beautiful snowfall. Kids were excited to have 2 days without school to sled and build snowmen. We hope you all stayed safe and warm and hopefully also got to go out and enjoy the beautiful days. We have no sorrows today. And we light one more candle for any joys and concerns, joys and sorrows that are unspoken but felt in your heart. Lifeline lay ministers are fellow members of the congregation who extend ministry to members and friends of our church who are experiencing loss, illness, or any type of personal or family crisis. You can reach out to us by visiting Lifelines in our Lifelines table in Hanneman Hall after the service today or any Sunday. You can also identify us by our purple stoles and lavender badges that say Lifelines Lay Ministers. You can email us. You can read the email address right there behind you if you wish. And you can also post any joys and sorrows in the book in the foyer before service. Thank you to everyone who submitted joys and sorrows, and thank you for everyone for keeping these people in your hearts. Thank you.
Please rise in body and spirit as we sing our heart song. It's number 95 in your gray hymnal. We'll do just 2 verses. Number 95 in your gray hymnal. There's a more love somewhere. There is more.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other. That's just as fair and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept that first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads unto way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere, ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. That has made all the difference.
Thank you, Gloria. When I was a kid, the Stevens-Dillon family vacations always involved a road trip in the family car to the Oregon coast. The driving distance varied, as during my childhood, my family lived in various towns in Idaho, Montana, and Oregon. According to Google, the driving distance for these trips today would be between 500 and 1,200 miles via the most direct route. But we never took the direct route. My father was a man who fully embraced lifelong learning and believed in taking every opportunity to experience and better understand the world we live in. He rarely took the direct route to anywhere, and he never drove the same road twice if he could help it. He loved to explore side roads, logging roads, wagon roads, and roads to nowhere. We stopped and investigated ghost towns and geological formations. We visited every museum and wayside, and we read every historical marker out loud to each other. We visited national parks, national monuments, and camped in national forests. We kids whined, complained, and begged to go to Disneyland the next year, all to no avail. I don't know if it was because my father had insisted that the trip to our destinations should be part of the experience, or if it was just my nature, but once I was responsible for my own journey, I became very destination-focused. For most of my adult life, I was about completing the project and succeeding at the goals I had set for myself. But now that I'm getting closer to the destination at the end of my life journey, whatever that may be, I've come to realize that although the destination is important, the opportunities to learn and grow and help others along the way are what gives meaning to the journey we call life. The changes and challenges taking place in our country lately have left most of us feeling a need to move as fast as possible to a destination where we can begin to repair the damage and heal the wounds being inflicted on us. Yet, the enormity of the situation leads me to think that focusing on the journey, the small actions, may be the best way forward. In today's fast-paced, goal-oriented modern Western culture, there's a lot of pressure to prioritize reaching our destinations and achieving our goals. Self-help books and mentors, teachers and counselors, people in power and those with influence all tell us that reaching our goals is the best, some say only, way to measure success. And too many spiritual leaders uphold this way of thinking by using their sermons and teachings to encourage congregants to put their energies toward attaining the final acceptance to an eternal, promised, or holy destination. Sadly, this can lead to missing enlightening lessons and opportunities. Throughout our lives, there are so many times when the journey holds at least as much, if not more, value than the destination that we're seeking. When we focus solely on the destination, we risk missing out on so many moments of wonder and awe and insight into the lives of others. Detours and unplanned encounters that pop up offer new perspectives and create meaningful connections and make lasting memories. Even the experiences we choose to keep private and not share with others are part of what shapes us. Sometimes our embarrassing, strange, painful, and odd experiences become cherished memories that we carry with us throughout our lives. I'm sure most of us can think of something. When we focus on the journey, we can be present in each moment. We can appreciate the process rather than fixating on the end result. When we're focused on the destination, we're likely to be consumed with stress, impatience, anxiety, and we're actually more likely to make mistakes and poor choices. Embracing the journey enables us to find joy in the small victories and milestones along the way. Like Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, thank you, Gloria, that was beautifully read. Travel metaphors are everywhere in our language, never more so than when we talk about our life journey. We say that we need to follow the path to success. We walk on thin ice when we don't, and when we meet our objective, we have reached the summit. I'm okay with these phrases because, like many of you, I love to travel. I am mindful that I'm privileged to be able to afford to see and experience new places and cultures, so maybe not as much as I'd like, and also that I'm blessed to live in a time and a place where there are quick, safe ways to get most places on this planet. Honestly, I'm really disappointed that space travel and travel to other planets and galaxies isn't going to happen in my lifetime, but that's a discussion for another day. For some time, my younger daughter, who is the mother of my grandsons, has resided far from Salem. I try to visit her and her family several times a year. I used to focus on getting to their location as quickly as possible so that I could spend time playing and going on adventures and making memories. Since air travel is, without a doubt, the fastest way to cover long distances, I found myself rushing to airports, worrying about flight delays, standing in long lines at the TSA checkpoint, and wondering if I'd be able to make my connecting flights. In spite of all my efforts to take a deep breath and be patient, the vibe of the departure gates and baggage claim areas made the beginning and end of my travel times very stressful. There had to be a better way. Now, my father, in addition to taking every opportunity to see and learn something new, was obsessed with trains. And from him, I developed an interest in train travel. When I was a kid, I traveled by train in the US a couple of times. I used Eurail in Europe, and 35 years ago, I braved the then questionably safe rail system in South Korea. But until recently, I had not experienced modern rail travel in this country. A few years ago, frustrated with the stress of air travel, I decided to take the road, nay rail, less traveled. Did you know that many of the train stations currently in use in the United States are historic buildings and have served travelers for well over 100 years? New York Penn Station, LA Union Station, Portland Union Station, Salem, Eugene, and many others. These historic buildings offer a glimpse into the past. Some of these stations, like many others around the world, played a part in efforts to assist those seeking a better life during past times of crisis by providing shelter and guidance to those in need and a means to get to a place of safety. I spent several hours in Chicago Union Station a couple of weeks ago. The historic building, though currently undergoing renovation, is a beautiful, welcoming space. Hundreds of folks from every possible lifestyle, race, religion, ability, and belief peacefully share the wooden pew-type benches in the Great Hall or enjoy the modern comforts of the first-class lounge. Somehow, even the most introverted of us become drawn into conversations with fellow travelers. I talked with a woman who, due to an extreme fear of flying, was traveling by train to her wedding in Seattle. Her fiancé was traveling by plane, and he'd meet her at the venue. I enjoyed meeting an Amish gentleman who was very fond of M&Ms. He was traveling with his mother and wife to meet his children and other relatives for a family celebration. We were going to the same destination, and he was concerned that I was traveling alone, so checked in with me regularly. As we waited, trains came and went. Trains known not by 3 or 4-digit numbers, but with names like the City of New Orleans, the Southwest Chief, the Empire Builder, and the California Zephyr. When these names were announced over the PA system and passengers were asked to move to the platform to prepare to board, there was a sense that the travelers were not just heading to a destination, but were embarking on an opportunity or adventure. As UUs, we often talk about life as a series of opportunities for personal growth and discovery. We acknowledge that we need to be aware of the world around us and all those with whom we share the interdependent web of existence. By seeing and tackling all the obstacles in our life, we learn that joy, kindness, and love may be found in the most unexpected ways and places. Now, I've been to many destinations where I saw the things we think of as important sights and human achievements. I've watched the boats go through the locks of the Panama Canal and ridden the gondolas of Venice. I climbed the Eiffel Tower and crossed into North Korea via the DMZ. But insight, knowledge, and experiences are what I have found when I've slowed down and focused on the here and now. The things that have really impacted me are the unexpected events. I'll always remember the Korean ladies I met as we journeyed by train from Osan to Seoul. I spoke no Korean, and they no English. Yet, through gestures, smiles, and sharing of pictures, we swapped stories about our families and personal experiences. Or the time I tasted the most delicious pizza I have ever had, when my companion and I decided not to stay on the tourist path as we were seeing the sights of Boston. Or when I sat down to share a meal with the monks at a Buddhist monastery we happened to cross while wandering about in China. There was no English signage, nor was English spoken, so I have no idea what I ate. Though, since it was vegetarian fare, and the monks, who appeared to be in good health, also ate it, I didn't worry too much. The last couple of months have brought many unexpected experiences and have been overwhelming for most of us. We often don't know how to respond, what to do next, how to move forward in a world where all the rules and expectations we believed in and relied on have been pulled out from under us. Logic and reason seem to no longer play a part in the decisions made by those in power. The cruel and inhumane decisions which impact our lives, our loved ones, and all the people, places, and living beings with whom we share the interdependent web of existence just seem to get more and more unbelievable. I think we can all agree that our shared goal, our destination, is a world based in love for each other, for our children, for our world, even for all those with whom we disagree. We know we need to move quickly down our own path to intercept, forestall, impede, and prevent what we know is speeding down the road toward us. But this will not be a quick or easy journey. The road to our destination is going to be a long one, folks. Although others throughout history and around the world have traveled similar roads, it's overwhelming to find ourselves here. There will be times when we wonder if this destination of kindness and inclusion, which we so desperately long for, is even still possible. There will be many roadblocks. They will reroute us. We will need to negotiate potholes and construction zones and deconstruction zones. As we negotiate these treacherous roads, we need to keep our destination in mind, but focus on the journey. We must remember to stop and read the historical markers, visit the museums, and study the memoirs of those who have encountered these challenges before us. It's important to note that the significance of the journey does not detract from the importance of the destination. It's good to have a destination in mind, and reaching it gives us a sense of accomplishment. The destination provides a purpose and a direction as we go along. It provides a goal, a quest, a feeling that when the going gets tough, there's a foreseeable end to the struggle. It serves as a tangible representation of our efforts and achievement, but it's the journey that actually leads us to become who we are. I think if we remember the old adage that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and we concentrate on what we can do, can say, can learn along the way, our small successes and milestones will sustain us as we embark on what we know will be a difficult, dangerous, and often heartbreaking journey to our destination. And since we UUs are indeed a gentle, angry people who are about to navigate our ship into this storm, it would probably be a good idea to hold hands and stick together. Thank you. I'd like to offer, in place of the traditional meditation, a second reading. This essay was written by Robert J. Hastings, who was an ordained Baptist minister and the editor of the Illinois Baptist News Journal from 1967 to 1984. The Station by Robert J. Hastings. Tucked away in our subconscious minds is an idyllic vision. We see ourselves on a long, long trip that almost spans the continent. We're traveling by passenger train, and out the windows, we drink in the passing scene of cars on nearby highways, of children waving at a crossing, of cattle grazing on a distant hillside, of smoke pouring from a power plant, of row upon row of corn and wheat, of flatlands and valleys, of mountains and rolling hillsides, of city skylines and village halls, of biting winter and blazing summer and cavorting spring and docile fall. But uppermost in our minds is the final destination. On a certain day, at a certain hour, we will pull into the station. There will be bands playing and flags waving. And once we get there, so many wonderful dreams will come true. So many wishes will be fulfilled, and so many pieces of our lives will finally be neatly fitted together like a completed jigsaw puzzle. How restlessly we pace the aisles, damning the minutes for loitering, waiting for the station. However, sooner or later, we must realize that there is no one station, no one place to arrive once and for all. The true joy of life is the trip. The station is only a dream. It constantly outdistances us. When we get to the station, that will be it, we cry. Translated, it means, when I'm 18, that will be it. When I buy a new 450 SL Mercedes-Benz, that will be it. When I put the last kid through college, that will be it. When I have paid off the mortgage, that will be it. When I win that promotion, that will be it. When I reach the age of retirement, that will be it. I shall live happily ever after. Unfortunately, once we get it, then it disappears. The station somehow hides itself at the end of an endless track. Relish the moment is a good motto, especially when coupled with Psalm 118:24. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. It isn't the burdens of today that drive men mad. Rather, it is regret over yesterday or fear of tomorrow. Regret and fear are twin thieves who rob us of today. So stop pacing the aisles and counting the miles. Instead, climb more mountains, eat more ice cream, go barefoot more often, swim more rivers, watch more sunsets, laugh more and cry less. Life must be lived as we go along. The station will come soon enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Ooh. Each week we here at UUCS contribute to an organization we feel needs a little extra help. This month's Share the Plate recipient is the Marion Pope Food Share, which, and I'm quoting from their website, works to end hunger partly by building partnerships with and advocating alongside groups focused on social and racial justice, poverty, and other forms of oppression. This food share works with food pantries, community gardens, and congregations such as ours to provide the food and money they need to ensure that no one in our community goes hungry. Your contributions of monetary donations to the Marion Pope Food Share and to your pledge, don't forget your pledge, are gladly accepted and may be dropped into the offertory bags, which will be passed shortly. Contributions of food to the food chair may be placed in the little red wagon, which is right here up in front of the sanctuary. And I just did that this morning. I brought a whole bag full of food, those Cheerios and such. Yay. You may also make contributions online by going to uusalem.org and click on the donate button. And we thank you for your kind generosity.
I hear the mountain birds, the sound of rivers singing, a song I've often heard. It flows through me now, so clear and so loud. I stand where I'm dreaming of home. I feel so alone. I'm dreaming of home. It's carried in the air, the breeze of early morning. I see the land so fair. My heart opens wide. There's sadness inside. I stand where I am, and forever I'm dreaming of home. I feel so alone. I'm dreaming of home. The air, a foreign sky, I see no foreign light, but far away I am from some peaceful land. I'm longing to stand, a hand in my hand. Forever I'm dreaming of home. I feel so alone. I'm dreaming of home.
Thank you so much. It was lovely. Next Sunday, Reverend Monica will return. Her topic will be collective effervescence, which I find a rather intriguing title. She says, we will learn about the practices of living an awesome life. So I always enjoy it when Monica's in the pulpit because her messages are always uplifting in a time when we really, really need to be uplifted. It seems I'm going to News of the Community, and it seems like we always have so much going on here at UUCS. and especially lately. And if you're not getting the newsletter, I encourage you to call Emma at the office. She's lovely, and she will help you to get on the list to receive the news. Our email, which I'll say, and you won't remember, but you can look it up. The email is office@uusalem.org. And you actually may want to check out the welcome table in the fellowship hall. I think those folks will be able to give you the information you need and maybe even put you on a list to get our newsletters. We have a lot going on, and usually we don't do this, but I'm going to mention a few things because I was so excited about everything. Of course, we have the pledge drive. We have a thing called Jolly Diners, and it's a group of folks who get together in a restaurant about once a month and eat. I haven't done it yet, but I think we're going to do it next time. Sounds fun. Peter Mayer will be in concert here on February 22nd, and my understanding is that it's going to be an amazing concert. We have board game nights, and we are going to have a great, big, wonderful, fantastic St. Patrick's Day dinner. So you want to look for those things and for a whole lot of other things that are going on here. So you want to make sure you get that newsletter. I do want to remind you that during this pledge drive, we will be having some special, really fun activities after the services. And today, you will want to join us for an afternoon of live music and dancing. Am I right, John? Our sound person back there, who just gave me the thumbs up, has a band, and the band is talented, and he's talented, and he's our choir director, if you don't know who I'm talking about. And they're going to play this afternoon, so come in to the fellowship hall, grab a cup of coffee, get a snack. I saw some brownies out there. And join us for some live music and dancing. How fun is that, right? And now Janet can help with lighting the social justice candle. Each week we light this social justice candle to remind us of the many ways we, as members of the UUCS community, can and do further the cause of justice in our community and in our nation. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something. There are many organizations we can support financially or in person, and I personally, and not as a representative of UUCS, but just personally from my house, I have increased my donations to ACLU and to the Human Rights Campaign, and I am now rejoining PFLAG in Salem, which is Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. This is what I feel I can do. So, UUCS sponsors a social justice team, and I encourage you to contact John Prohadsky. John, are you here today? Okay, he might be in the other room, I don't know. To become involved, and I encourage each of you to do whatever you can to work with a cause that is close to your heart. Did we get that? We did. As we extinguish our chalices today, let us remember that love is our doctrine as we strive to ensure social justice for all. Thank you, Janet.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, our closing song. It's number 305 in your gray hymnal. We'll do the 3 English verses. Number 305 in your gray hymnal. Oh, the colors, yes, the colors we see in the springtime with all of its flowers, all its colors. When the sunlight has shine on the threads with cloud of the showers, all the colors as the rainbow appears when a storm cloud is touched by the sun. All the colors are bound for the whole world around, for everyone Yes, the black and the white and the red and the brown and the yellow. All the colors of people who smile and shake hands and say hello. All the colors, yes, the colors of people who know that their freedom is won. And the colors are bound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun.
And now, if you feel comfortable doing so, I invite you to take your neighbor's hand as we say our closing words. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come. Blessed be.